Welcome back everybody to Let's Play Umineko When They Cry. So, in that case, that means the culprit in all of these repeated games is one of the 18 people. Yes. There was never a need for the 19th person. So I'm right. I'm right. Bar this fucking bitch. Everyone you see over there, from Kinzo, to Kumasawa, to Jessica, Shannon, to even Bottler himself, all of them, save for blue hair, is a possible culprit. And yes, unfortunately, that even includes Natsui. So, the question is, who do we think is the real culprit? Well, I'm actually gonna kind of think about this on a logical scale right here. Kinzo's probably one of the most suspicious characters next to Genji. Kinzo never really is seen all around, and when he was seen in Chapter 4, he outright started killing people. So it's a very high likely possibility that Kinzo is actually the main culprit of the story. Because he's not being shown, he's not around, which means he's off killing people. But that's a little bit too easy. It's an easy choice to blame Kinzo, and it's almost too easy, as if that's definitely not the choice. But we're gonna think that it's the choice. Dr. Nanjo dies late in the game of Chapter 1. However, actually, wait, no, hold on. Dr. Nanjo dies late in most games. Yeah. When we think about it, it's a very high possibility that Dr. Nanjo could be the killer. The earliest that he died was Chapter 4. Genji, I've always stated, is actually one of the more likely candidates, especially for Chapter 1. The problem with this is that Chapter 3 had Genji die early. And I believe Chapter 4 did as well. I forget. Who was the first people to die in Chapter 4? I forget. Yeah, no, Genji did die in the very beginning of Chapter 4. So the problem with this is that Genji's dead by Chapter 4 and 3 in the very beginning. Even Chapter 5. He's only been around for Chapters 1 and 2. Shannon, on the other hand, we also have to assume that for the most part she's also a candidate. Problem is she wasn't there for Chapter 3. Same with Cannon. He wasn't there either. In fact, all the servants plus Kinzo weren't there for Chapter 3. So, with that logic in mind, it would honestly point to Eva. However, Eva was murdered in the beginning of Chapter 4. The problem is certain people are murdered and certain people aren't. For example, these two characters, while it is nice to think that Rosa could be the culprit, that's just not the case. While Maria and Rosa did survive all the way to the very end in chapters, well, Rosa didn't survive to the end in Chapter 1. Maria did. Maria survived to the end in all chapters, except for 3 and 4. No, except for 3. It's honestly pointing towards Bottler. It's either Kinzo or Bottler, when you think about it from a logical standpoint. Because Bottler survived all games, till the very end, and Kinzo doesn't have an alibi for all games. Granted, it could be other characters, but the contradictions arise when they're dead. But one of Noxus's proofs is that, unless there are any clues that another character is dead, but not really, there has to be clues given that, oh, Kenji's actually hiding. We have to find makeup, for example. It could be that Bottler was the bad guy all along. Let's continue and get more information. Nox is second. It's forbidden for supernatural agencies to be employed as detective techniques. Wait a minute. Supernatural entities. But if that's true, then we can outright deny magic. The interpretation's up to myself. That's what I've been advocating since the very beginning, the devil's advocate thing. It's whatever you believe. You can believe all you want, and that it's magic. But at the same time, you can also believe that magic doesn't exist. And because of that, you can believe that it was other people. At the end of the first game, it was revealed that this tale was passed on to people in the future by a message in the bottle. But the person who wrote the message in a bottle was Maria. Therefore, the observer isn't God, it's human. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie, like, the gears in my head are turning, as dusty as they are. I'm trying to... So, we've at least narrowed our search down. It is one of these 18 people. No one is off the chopping block. I honestly think it's either Kinzo or Bottler. That's my guess. My reasoning for that is I haven't seen any makeup around. We haven't been shown any clues that any of the characters could swap. Actually, for the most part, we were told in red that no, this character or that character, they're not playing. They're actually dead. It was our hint that it can't be those characters. So I have to remember which characters were actually stated to be dead in red. So because of that, the only characters that have never been stated to be dead in red, barring the first chapter, no, actually, the second chapter when that was introduced, Kinzo survived to the very end. Chapter 3, I don't remember if Kinzo was stated to be dead in red. And that never happened in Chapter 4, which means Kinzo's a prime target. He doesn't have an alibi, and he's not stated by a hint to not be the killer. The other possibility is Bottler. And the reason for that is Bottler's been alive at the very end of each episode. And honestly, that would... The sin. The sin. It has nothing to do with Beatrice, because Beatrice wasn't involved in the mystery of Rokenjima. She wasn't the killer. Bottler's sin made it to where people died. Holy fucking shit. That... If Bottler truly is the culprit, the sin makes sense. His sin was murder. Beatrice wanted me to solve it. She made me the riddles of this game solvable. That would be, honestly, the most appropriate answer. That would be a very Beatrice thing, knowing that Bottler was the killer, and that in this hell, Bottler's solving his own mystery, and he doesn't remember that he killed people, and she's trying to remind him of his sin. That is actually a very plausible theory. That is a very, very plausible theory. That Brutal Witch is starting to look a little bit cute. Oh my gosh. Guys, I'm not joking when I say this, but I'm starting to think Butler is the murderer. That would... In Chapter 2, Rosa stated that how do we actually know that you're Butler? Again, this is my interpretation of this. Nox's 8th. Is it forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented? Nox's 6. It is forbidden for accident or intuition to be employed as detective techniques. So, with this in mind, what it's saying is that all the clues had to be presented. And it's that last one, the accident thing. Let's say that Rena accidentally bumped into the miso sauce and knocked it over and found that it was empty. And because of that, she realized that Rika went over to Shion's house. That wouldn't work. But the way that it actually happened, Rika noticed the bottle was empty on her own volition. And that does work. Guys, the more my head is turning, the more that I'm tinkering in my head, the more it's likely that Butler is actually the criminal in this game. One is whodunit, who is the culprit. One is how done it, how did they commit the crime. One is why done it, why did they commit the crime. If we take this to its literal degree, let's look at the characters. Who, why, and how. The biggest mystery is how, and the other biggest mystery is who. But it's that third one that's tricky. Even if we can claim that, I'm starting to think Butler's the killer. But let's use Butler as the example. Who? Butler. Why? That's that why. Why would Butler do this? For money? For gold? He's already found the gold, and yet Natsui's the one who's being set up. He's actually trying to say that she's not the killer. So I can't think it's gold. But it's that big one, how? And that's what we're trying to figure out. I don't know, I'm gonna keep on going on. Oh my gosh. My head is turning! When Beatrice realized I completely surrendered in the second game because it was too hard, she did worry. She made it easier. I'll admit, Chapter 2 was hard. Even though they were said to be evil, they were there to help. The metaphor of the bronze tube, that really fucking helped us. So chapters 1 through 4 were a test. And because you boycotted the 5th game, those two fucked this game so much. Culprit, crime, motive. Those are the three biggest things that we have to solve. Who done it, how done it, why done it. Go back through the tale. Know that you will be given them as long as you don't lose sight of the truth. Whoa! Go back?! Something that's been repeated. Without love, the truth cannot be seen. Let's go back to the very beginning of this. From the very beginning of Chapter 5. Or maybe Chapter 1. We gotta think here. Crime, culprit, motive. In the sea of nothingness here, we can't lose ourselves. Oh my gosh, Balder's actually using the way that Rika thought throughout all of Higurashi. Checking fragments. So Balder figured it out? We finally figured it out? We really are an idiot! We woke up! We fucking woke up! Oh my gosh, yes! Wait. Wait, her crumbled remains? Oh my gosh. So we actually figured out the mystery of Rokenjima, and you're definitely gonna blue ball me and not tell me, aren't you? That's right, Beatrice gave up in the end. Oh my gosh! We really have been torturing her. It all makes sense now. While it's taking me a little bit longer than Balder to reach the truth, the fact that he's reached the truth, it's important. Oh my gosh, if she was really there the whole time to help him. Why couldn't you just say it more simply? Did she really love him? Was that the answer? Is the truth love, I swear to gosh. Oh my gosh. But, so... No, she can't be gone! No, Beatrice can't be fucking gone! Okay, we're gonna continue things in the next episode, so until then, guys, see you then.